What a performance by the Aussies in the second test as they go 2-0 up. Destructive mode by Stark, again backing up, not with only the ball, but with the bat this time. Hard decisions made, leaving great Nathan Lyon out, but Michael Neser definitely stood up to the plate. And we saw a fiery encounter between Steve Smith and Jofra Archer, where Steve Smith stood on business and then pulled him away for 6 the very next ball. Now let's get into recapping all of this second test. Let's go. So England won the toss and elected to bat first, and it got off to a shaky start. We're not going to lie, as Mitchell Stark again fired in the first over, this time collecting Ben Duckett for a golden duck caught by Marnus Labuschagne, and shortly after, in the following over, bowled Ollie Pope for a duck off just 3 balls too. We thought that it was going to be another one of those collapses where Mitch Stark just absolutely takes over. But credit to Zach Crawley, who came under fire, more particularly in the first innings of the first test. The second innings, he was far better. And Joe Root. So Zach Crawley, 76 from 93 in the end. Batted beautifully, played all the shots, was attacking when he needed to be, but also showed a bit of restraint. But the most impressive was Joe Root. Now, I put the question out, will we see Joe Root get 100 in Australia? That would be an X on his resume if he doesn't. And he's gone out and done it. And what I loved most about this Joe Root innings, so 138 not out of 206 balls, is, yes, there is Bazball, but Joe Root showed what a beautiful test innings looks like. He was patient. He put the ball away that that would need to be put away. But then he just watching him drive the ball square of the wicket down the ground was absolutely beautiful to watch. I thought this was an absolute clinical performance by Joe Root. A great 100, kind of a 100 that he needed, especially with that resume as he goes into the second most runs ever in test. The 100 that he needed, now he's off his back, but he just showed what a world-class type of player Joe Root is. And it was a phenomenal performance and definitely put them in a good position as they together put on, if we have a look here, 117-run partnership. That really settled it because they were 2 for 5, then 3 for 122 before Zach Crawley pulled away. So hats off to that partnership, but in particular Joe Root's performance in that one, getting his first 100 over here in Australia. Then Harry Brook came out and looked dangerous. We know what Harry Brook's like, plays always, as I'll say, Zach Crawley, caught Alex Terry, bowled Michael Neser. So he came in and made an immediate impact. Harry Brook came in, played all his shots, got himself into the 30s, but then it was Mitchell Stark who had him caught by Steve Smith in the end, bowled Mitchell Stark, 31 from 33. So then it looked like a partnership might be forming then if they Root and Brook put on 54 runs for that partnership. But it was Stark again who broke that one. Then Ben Stokes came in, and Ben Stokes was a bit unlucky. Let's just say that. Now, I'd like to put a question. Is Josh Inglis one of the best fielders whose more role is as a keeper? One of the best fielders that is his predominant position is a keeper. That run out was absolutely phenomenal. The athleticism on him to pounce on that ball and hit the stumps clean. It was the game changer because, as I said, they were 4 for 210 at this stage, and we're looking like cruising. Then he ran out Ben Stokes for 19. That was the game changer where the Aussies really started to put the foot on the throat in this game. And hats off to Josh Inglis. Obviously, was a call up in the replacement Usman Khawaja. We'll touch on his batting performance and questions a bit later, but that was the real game changer. And just his athleticism, obviously as a keeper, but in the field is absolutely phenomenal. He's an elite fieldsman as well. So hats off to Josh Inglis for really changing the game in the favour of the Aussies there. So it looked like England was starting to take control of the game. And then someone who's having a very, very disappointing series is Jamie Smith. Second ball duck bowled by Scott Boland. Now I heard a lot about Jamie Smith coming over here, but he just hasn't shown it, and we'll talk about his keeping soon. But he just hasn't shown it really with the bat. The second ball duck, obviously by Scott Boland, a quality bowler, but it's time for him to really stand up, I think. I've heard all these talks about it. And so if we have a look at, let's get up some of Jamie Smith's career stats. Obviously, this is his first time coming over to Australia, so he's never done a series over here in Australia. If we have a look here, he's played 17 matches. He's made 1,127 runs and averages just under 43 and a half. So that is a quality thing. If we get up, I want to see how many hundreds he's made, but averaging 43 and a half, 43.34 he averages. With a high score of 184 not out and has 200s to his name. So can definitely bat, but he's just looking to try and adjust himself to the Aussie conditions and probably needs to think about it fast. And not only that, he needs to hang on to catches when they come their way. That catch he dropped off Travis Head should have been bread and butter. So Jamie Smith is not having the start to his Ashes series that he would have liked. He was going for a duck. Then Will Jacks, the replacement they brought in for Mark Wood. Looked okay in the second innings. We'll touch on where he looked better, but was departed for 19 from 31, caught by Steve Smith, bowled Mitchell Starc. And then they decided to make Mitchell Starc made light work of the two fast bowlers, Gus Atkinson and Brighton Cast. Alex Carey catching both of them. Atkinson with 4 and Brighton Cast with a duck. And then Jofra Archer came out. And I still stand by it, but I've heard a different point of view today as well on the Wheeler Talk podcast by Alyssa Healy. I was like, why haven't the England declared and put Aussies in for a half an hour under lights? Jofra Archer under lights. No Aussie wants to face that with the pink ball. I was like, that just has to happen. And Alyssa Healy said an interesting take today on the Wheeler Talk podcast. She said she was on the couch thinking the same, but then as she's reflected on it, she thought they did the right move because those 60 runs that they managed to pile on, 60 more runs than the Aussies would have, they got a lot more runs than the Aussies would have liked, but 60 runs that they piled on could have been crucial to the game, and it really did become crucial in the outcome of the game if there was one partnership, which we'll touch on in the next part, that didn't happen. Those 60 runs could have been really, really crucial. So she thought that England did the right thing by not declaring, and I liked seeing that different point of view. I still would have, as a mutual fan, would have loved to see Archer, if he was at his best, under the lights, attacking Weatherald and Head. But I can see that point of view now too, as Alyssa Healy has brought it to my attention. But Jofra Archer batted beautifully, I thought, too, with the bat. Especially in day 2, he played a magnificent square drive that just looked like a textbook, did not look like a number 11 batsman type of shot. But then he was gone by Brendan Doggett, 38 from 36. So a solid innings there from Jofra Archer batting at number 11. One that helped England put on their score. So they end up being bowled out for 334 early in day 2. The bowling figures we look, Mitchell Starc again led the way. 20 overs, 6 for 75. Mitchell Starc is in his prime and the best form of his career, and there is no doubt about it. That would be 16 wickets already in the series prior to the second innings being played. That's a magnificent effort. Michael Neser took the new ball alongside him. Obviously, the late call-up just about an hour or two before. 14 overs, 1 for 43 in the first innings. Scott Boland bowled the 19, 1 for 87. Brendan Doggett bowled 15.2, 1 for 81. And Cameron Green, 8 overs, none for 43. Now, if we go over to the Aussies, and it was obviously the opening partnership of Travis Head and Jake Weatherald. But it was Jake Weatherald who really got on the front foot early and was punishing the England, getting ahead of Travis Head, playing some beautiful straight drives, some square cuts. It was just really attacking, flicking some off his pads. And then Travis Head did eventually join in on the fun. As I mentioned, Jamie Smith dropped an absolute one that should have been bread and butter for him. As a keeper, you should be taking that. And I think at the end of the day, that is what separated the game between the two teams. It was the fielding, in particular the catches. You know, the old saying is catches win matches, and it couldn't be more true in this. England dropped a couple of catches that they really should have swallowed and could have shaped the game, but were unable to hold it, whereas the Aussies took some blinders in the field. Yeah, so Head and Weatherald managed to put on 77 for the opening wicket in just 13 overs, which is a great partnership there, before Head departed for 33 from 43. caught Gus Atkinson, ball bright and cast. And then it was another good partnership. Marnus Labuschagne and Jake Webber managed to put on 69 together. Again, we saw Marnus Labuschagne. He's more attacking and looking to score. I like this look of Marnus, putting Bazball on the back foot, putting the fast bowlers on the back foot. England are used to doing it with their own bat, but now it's given a bit of taste of their own medicine. While not slogging, still playing his shots, batted beautifully before Jake Webber. I was really, really disappointed and upset to see Jake Webber not go on and make 100. It would have been a great story. He deserved 100 the way he was batting, but he fell short. 72 LBW from Jofra Archer off 78 balls, but by all means, great innings there by Jake Weatherald. Definitely redeemed himself from the first test and definitely shows that he deserves a spot in this Aussie team at the top of the order. Then in came Steve Smith. So this top order of the Australians really were exceptional without going on to make it that 100. That's the only knock we can have on this first innings of the Aussies. I would have loved to see one of these four, even the top six, go on and make 100 because they all got starts. Which that's the only disappointing part, I would say, for them. As Smudge and Marnus went on and put another 50 on together before Marnus departed. Bowled Ben Stokes, caught Jamie Smith for 65 from 78. Then out came Cam Green. Now Cam Green was looking really good, really solid. I love it when Cam Green stands tall and he pulls or when he's driving on the front foot. Then he got hit on the hand, but the way he gave that wicket away was so disappointing. It was actually, to put it in better words, it was actually disgusting the way he threw his wicket away. He virtually walked away, opened up all his stumps, and tried to hit it over the offside field. Like, I don't know what he was thinking. He could have just stand there and played the way he was doing. Maybe that injury was giving him a bit, but the way he threw his wicket away was just really disappointing because we've got so much hope and for Cameron Green as a cricketer. Talks about him being the future captain, but when he throws his wicket away like that, you go, geez, just why? This was the moment where you really could have cemented you're the guy that everyone's talking about, and you threw your wicket away like that. It was just disappointing because he looked sound. He was so in, playing some beautiful shots, but he had to depart for 45 from 57 as him and Steve Smith did put on a 95-run partnership there. As soon as they broke that partnership, Steve Smith wasn't far behind them too. He batted really well, but he'll be disappointed. 61 from 85 he was. And then Alex Carey came in, and it was interesting to see Josh Inglis bat at 7. He came in as the replacement for Usman Khawaja, and I understand because I really rate Alex Carey as a batsman because he's another one who just looks to score, has all the plays 360 around the ground, and but I just thought that Inglis was picked as a batter, so it was interesting to see him bat at 7. If you're being picked purely as a batter, whereas the all-rounders already bat at 5 and the keepers bat at 6. That was just an interesting one. But Alex Carey, beautiful innings. Another one who got a start and probably could have gone on with it. 63. Josh Inglis was the first one to depart as they put on, if I do my quick maths here, they put on 37 before Josh Inglis departed for 23 from 25. And then Neser came out and hung around for a little bit, but was departed for 16. But then in came the fireworks. Before Alex Carey was next one, he hung around a little bit, then was departed with good innings of 63. But the innings of the game was Mitchell Starc. I put out a reel on the Instagram and the TikTok of saying England would be having headaches because if Mitchell Starc's not doing it with the ball, he's doing it with the bat. And what a composed innings he had. And let's not de-highlight the impact that Scott Bowen had at the other end too, with his 21 not out. But the key one here is he was able to face 72 balls, and he looked solid as a rock in his forward defence too. But Mitchell Starc, what a magnificent performance it was. 77 he put as a number 9 batsman. He had Pat Cummins in the commentary box, and they called it the Starc arc, where it's outside off, and it allows him to get a full golf swing at it. A full swing, that's Starc's arc, and he's going to put that away every day of the week. And we saw a couple of those. But what was really important is really key was he didn't blaze away. 77 from 141. So that's a really, really smart and good innings. And what it did, it also tired out the England bowlers. They bowled a lot of overs, a lot more overs than they would have liked to. They ended up bowling 117.3 overs for that innings, and it really tied them, which was the real key factor there too. Before Doggett came in and made 13, but altogether in this first innings, the Australians were really good. I just would have loved to see one of them go on and make 100, but they managed to put 511 on the board. Now we'll see some big figures here. Jofra Archer, 25 overs. See, with Jofra Archer's body, he doesn't want to be bowling 25 overs. He is destined to break down doing that. 1 for 87. Gus Atkinson, 28 overs, 1 for 114. Bryden Cast, 29 overs, 4 for 152. Ben Stokes, another one who doesn't want to be bowling 24 overs with the history of his body, 3 for 113. And Will Jacks, the spinner, who I thought was okay, 11.3 overs, 1 for 34. He had the best comedy rate of 2.96 going in there for that. Now we head over to the second innings, and this is highlighted by one player in particular. And hats off to the Australian selectors for having the guts to make the call on Nathan Lyon and bring in the homegrown hero, Michael Neser, who's known as the pink ball specialist. He's played a lot of games at the Gabba. They backed him in, and he delivered. A couple of his caught and bowls were absolutely phenomenal. The awareness that he has, and finished with 5 for 42 from 16.2. So now the question is, it's probably going to happen, but can you drop him? After a performance like that, it's going to be hard to drop him. I think they might still, because Pat Cummins looks like he's going to be right, and then Nathan Lyon, you think, comes straight back in for the Adelaide Oval. But it's going to be hard to drop him after he's taken a fifer. And let's highlight Alex Carey's glove work. Oh my God. Absolutely phenomenal. While Jamie Smith wasn't great for England, Alex Carey's was on another level. Keeping up to the stumps for Michael Neser's bowling, which what that does is it puts the batsmen, they have to play deep in their crease, and they get worried. They don't want to move around too much in case of their stumps. So batsmen that would normally bat out of their crease would now probably look to bat into their crease because they know Carey is looking for that. And he might not necessarily be looking for that, but what he's doing is he's putting doubt in their mind too. So he's making him think about the ball, but they're also making them think about, oh, we better not move around too much because Kez is just here and he'll stump us here. So I thought Alex Carey was absolutely phenomenal. I believe I counted he took 9 catches for the innings, but Michael Neser, take a bow for this performance. And they looked like they were getting off to an all right start with 48-run opening partnership before Ben Duckett was bowled by Scott Boland for 15. Again, Crawley got another start with caught and bowled Michael Neser, 44 from 59. Ollie Popes, after I said he looked pretty good in the first test in the first innings, got 26, another caught and bowled by Neser. Joe Root was unable to back up his form with 15. Ben Stokes battled really hard. Harry Booker departed for 15, but Ben Stokes battled really hard. And at the end, he was probably unlucky because he went out to a beautiful catch from behind the stumps by Alex Carey. Bowling just over 130 clicks, Michael Neser. On the way up, Carey caught behind, was absolutely clinical. So Ben Stokes, and you could see how frustrated he was because he knew that was the moment. 50 from 152, Ben Stokes was patient, put the team on his back. And that's the same with Will Jacks, who Jamie Smith departed for 4, but Will Jacks put on a really good partnership with Ben Stokes. They put 96 runs for their partnership, and he was patient too. He's known for his big hitting around the world in the T under 100. They've been quoted as saying that if the opening pair don't work, they see Will Jacks being able to come in and open in the test. But he batted beautifully, 41 from 92, and his technique looks exceptional standing up to test cricket. And I thought he definitely holds his spot there. Also took a wicket in both innings. Both innings, sorry? No, sorry. Just in the first innings, but made plenty of runs in both innings. But this one was really critical. But again, it was Neser who broke it, and it was a magnificent Steve Smith catch. Where does this catch rank in Steve Smith's catalogue is going to be the question. Absolutely phenomenal. Diving low, one-hand take. It was It was absolutely clinical, and you can see how fired up he got. So Jack set it apart for 41, as I mentioned, Stokes for 50, and then the Aussies just ran through, and we go Gus Atkinson for 3, bowled by Brendan Doggett, caught by Steve Smith. It might have even been that wicket where Steve Smith caught it. To be honest, Steve Smith took that many catches. I can't keep up. And then Brian Carson caught Steve Smith. Bowled Michael Neser. There's Smith again, 7. And Archer was 5, not out. The bowling, Stark, unable to have a big impact, but did bowl well too. Took his series tally after just 2 games to 18 wickets, which is absolutely insane. 18 overs, 2 for 64. Michael Neser, 16.2 overs, 5 for 42. So as I said, it's going to be hard to drop him. Brendan Doggett, 17 overs, 1 for 56. Scott Boland, 17 overs, 2 for 47. Cameron Green, 5 overs, none for 15. Travis Head came on for an over, 1 over, none for 1, as did Marnus Labuschagne, none for 3 off his over. But then it was set, the Aussies 65 to chase, or 64-65 for the win. And they wasted no time. They got it done in 10 overs. Travis Head came out and said, I'm not stuffing around here. 22 from 22. Jake Weverald, 17 not out from 23. Labuschagne unfortunately departed for 3. Gus Atkinson getting both of them. But Steve Smith came out and he meant business. Had that fiery encounter with Jofra Archer where, he championed him. Now, if you're not from Australia, you might not understand the significance of being champ. And not only champ, he put an N on the end. So he said champion. And then he always knew it was going to come short. And what's he do? He rocks back and puts him over the rope again. 23 not out from 9 balls. It's interesting to see why wasn't Jofra Archer bowling this pace earlier in the first innings. But that was absolutely alpha from Steve Smith. And the way he celebrated shows how much it meant to him. As the captain, he'll obviously he will be giving it back to Pat Cummins when he returns for the 3rd test. But that was such a good encounter. It was good to see Jake Weverell have a little bit to say. It was funny, but then Ben Stokes coming in protecting his teammate was really good to see. And I think there's nothing wrong with what Jofra Archer and Steve Smith did. What it was great theatre. Sometimes that's what Test cricket needs. A bit of battle, one-on-one battle. Jofra Archer's had his history with Steve Smith, hitting him in the Ashes before. But Steve Smith definitely had the last laugh this time, and it sets up for a good 3rd test. Is that going to be a battle we really need to keep a close eye on, or is it just water under the bridge? I think there's a little bit more to that. But well done. I think there's a little bit more to that, so we'll have to wait and see for the 3rd test. Well, there you have it, guys. There is my 2nd test recap of the Ashes as the Aussies go 2-0 up and really flex on the Poms in the end of it. Thank you guys for watching and listening along. We're really excited for the 3rd test, obviously coming up in Adelaide. But if you're watching this on YouTube, make sure you leave a like and comment on this video. Hit that subscribe button, turn the notification bell on so you're notified whenever we upload. The subscribers are definitely going up. I see you guys loving the cricket content, so keep sharing this off to a friend. And let's keep that subscribers going up because there's plenty of content to be shared with the Ashes and local cricket around. I see you guys liking that as well. If you're listening to this via Apple Podcasts or Spotify, make sure to leave a like and comment on this video. Hit the notification bell so you know when we upload. Hit that follow button. Share this off to a mate who you think might enjoy it. And please, guys, remember, most importantly, to leave a 5-star rating if you do enjoy this episode and this show, as that does help allow it to reach out to newer listeners. Thank you guys for listening, and until next time, I'll see you guys then.